Hello, YouTubers. So this is Ferrari Janudi. I'm coming to you from my YouTube channel, Ferrari Janudi. Now I want you to show me some love. Please sprinkle some likes. Please share this video. Help me spread the word of uplifting, energy hacking, powerful living into the rest of the universe so that everyone can benefit from all this great energy that I'm giving out and you're feeling and you're loving. Today I'm gonna give you a couple of examples that are related to one another. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories and how I dealt with them, and I'm going to show you the relationship between the two stories, and maybe it will resonate with you. Maybe you have something like that lurking inside your behavior patterns, your choices in your energetic field, giving you specific results that are not for your highest good and not really contributing to the growth in your life, to the expansion that you deserve, and the abundance and health and wealth that is your birthright, that you can have whenever you choose to tap into it. So what I'm going to tell you first is that I was walking home with my children from school yesterday. So my daughter was super upset. She was so upset because apparently a boy who is a habitual disruptor in the class started to pick on her friend whom she was doing art with on one of the tables. So my daughter, the girl who was being picked on, didn't say anything. She didn't do anything. She sat there and kind of put up with it. But my daughter, you know, being who she is, she started to defend her. So first she defended her verbally and told the boy to move away, to shut up, blah, blah, blah. And then he started to obviously verbally abuse my daughter and get angry. Then he tried to snatch the seat from under the other girl, and my daughter pushed him back. Then he snatched a picture of the other girl and my daughter snatched it back. Now, what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture is that my daughter is getting in the middle of an argument that does not include her. It didn't include her. So she's in the middle of something that is none of her business, really. You know, it is admirable to defend your friends. Comes from a good place, comes from a place of power, strength, comes from a place of knowing what's appropriate and what's correct to do with other people. But it's also one of the worst energies if left unchecked. If you take it from childhood into adulthood, it is one of the worst energies. You get this savior complex. You want to save people from themselves. You want to save them from their circumstances, save them from pain and suffering by even giving them the one thing that you have that you cannot afford to give away, by giving them even the clothes off your back or the last bit of your money, and leaving yourself radically short and really exposed. Now, I used to be like this. That's where my daughter gets it, because she's a child. She has been programmed with my patterns and my responses and my beliefs from before she was even born. And all children are. All children are being programmed with their parents' programs, with their responses, with their emotional and mental patterns from even before they are born. So don't be surprised if your child exhibits a lot of your tendencies. If you see them making choices that are very similar to choices you made, and then if you get frustrated and you're like, I don't want them to do this, I don't want them to, you know, this is going to hurt them. So what can you do in this instant? What I did was I had a word with my daughter. I explained to her that she was not invited into the conversation, not by the boy who was bullying the girl or by the girl who was being bullied. She didn't say to her, darling, can you help me? This boy is bothering me. Not at any point did she not get up and do anything about it herself. She didn't complain to the teacher. She didn't ask for this. You know, and one day she might turn around, because children are fickle. She might turn around and say, well, Jenna, I didn't expect you to get involved because I didn't ask you. Why did you do that? So my daughter's put herself in a position now where she is smack dab in the middle of someone else's argument, you know, like, and what would we say to her? Like what the Caribbeans say, stay in your own lane. Because if my daughter grows up with this, she's going to end up with a lot of drama that is none of her business. You know what I used to carry? I used to carry the weight of worries for other people's problems, for other people's stress. I used to carry it inside myself like some festering wound. Oh my God, is she going to be okay? Oh my God, is he going to be okay? Oh my God, oh my God. And then I had no energy to live my own life. I had no energy left to create my own space, to create my own abundance, to follow through with my brilliant ideas. I was a martyr, a willing martyr for the world, and the world's not going to thank you for it. It's just going to siphon all your energy, and then when you're kind of empty and you've got nothing else to give, it's just going to walk away and go find someone else who's willing to be their savior, willing to be their little tank of energy that they can siphon off of. So this is not a good energy to grow up with. So I told my daughter, if a person asks you for help, go ahead and help them, but help them in a good, constructive way. If you descend to the level of the bully, if you start name calling and pushing and shoving, just like he does, you have not served yourself or the friend that you're trying to help. You've not even changed the level of the conversation to something higher or better or bigger. No, you've just kind of he creates a swamp and you've decided to jump in his swamp and get muddy with him, So she wasn't very happy to hear this, but I saw the look in her eyes like her brain was working. So definitely, if, whenever your children talk to you about something like this, give them constructive advice. Show them the truth. Don't just say to your child, oh, you're great, you're such a good friend, you're such a hero, if that's not going to serve them. You don't want your child to be everyone's hero. When they grow up, you don't want them to be the carrier of everyone's burden. You want them to help those who are willing to help themselves. You want them to help those who ask to be helped. So it brings me to me and my mistake that one I made this week was I gave like a free half an hour diagnostic session to someone who was complaining of certain frequencies and energies that they could not cope with. And I said, this is the work you need. So they proceeded to moan in my inbox for like a whole month, saying how they didn't have the money, they could never do anything. Oh, they were feeling so bad and they were suffering so greatly. So against my better judgment, I had a bout of sympathy, and sympathy is the most useless energy. Sympathy and pity are bullshit. They don't help people. They don't help you. They don't help the other person. We can have empathy for others. We can put ourselves in their shoes and feel their pain. We can have ultimately compassion, which is the most amazing energy for others, and we can uplift them and help them with whatever we can. But I really wasn't in a position to help this person. So I gave them a free session, and you know what they did? They forgot to show up for it until like 10-15 minutes in. They show up and they're like, oh, my phone was on charger and I was making a cup of tea, like we were on an effing social call or some shit, like I wasn't giving up 1 hour of my precious time for absolutely no gain, because they made it sound like they were dying under the energy of what they were suffering from. So I was like, my brain just went boom, like it was like a mushroom cloud just went off in my brain. I was like, boof, super angry with myself. I was like, how dare you, Ferrari? How dare you devalue yourself and your time to this extent that you're booking free sessions for people who are just hanging out in their kitchens, making cups of tea while you wait online, making calls to them and sending them messages. And they're like, oh, I was really looking forward to it, but when it came to the time, I was like, I'm going to go make some tea. You can't do that if you are really serious about getting yourself healed or getting to shift your mindset or getting a project done. You can't go for a walk or get a cup of tea or go make a sandwich when your mentor or your healer or teacher is waiting online, waiting to start the call. Are you having a laugh? Where is your commitment to yourself? I displayed a lack of responsibility towards my own self and my own business by booking that appointment against my better judgment, because I was so busy, listening to this sob story. I wasn't really enforcing my boundaries like I should, but they thankfully, because look how the energy of the universe worked. Look how God made it balance out. He made this person do this show what level, because if I gave him that healing anyway and I gave him a recording, and I've done this with people before, and they do not even bother opening it, they do not even bother practicing it. They think that, you know, it's a better being, here's your magic wand, you wave it once and, you know, shit is done, you're all good again. No, energy is practice. Meditation, healing meditations are practice. You commit to the shit. You do it every day, 2-3 times a day, until you start to do it like people like me, until you're walking down the street and you're activating all of your sacred geometry, you're running all the lights, you're running the activations with just an intention and a word in your mind. You know, that's what you're supposed to be doing. It isn't a social club. It isn't some little thing that you take from me and then you think, well, I've done it once, now am I going to be perfect again? Duh, no. Anyway, that was a lesson that I learned. I'm not no one's savior. I am here to co-create health and happiness and wealth with you if you're prepared to do that. If you're not prepared to do that and you're going to live inside your sad little story, you go ahead and do that. I don't mind. I'm not judging you. I just don't want to be a part of it. I just don't want any part of it. I don't like victimhood. I don't like disempowerment. I never liked it when I was living it, when I had feelings and thoughts and the mindset of a victim and the disempowered and the lonely and the sad and, oh, please somebody help me. I didn't like it in myself, so I'm not going to really encourage it in anyone else. Think about yourself. Do you want to continue to live your life the way that you have to this point? Do you want to continue to get the same results that you have got up to this point? Or do you want to grow? Do you want to become a better version of yourself? Do you want to earn more? Do you want to live more? Do you want to be more spiritually connected to your creator? Do you want to be more spiritually connected in general so that you feel the peace and the harmony and the love and the happiness within? Do you want to access more forgiveness, more understanding, more acceptance for yourself and for all of these other people around you, including your family, your friends, your community, the whole world? Well, it takes action. It takes decision, intention, and guided action. It's not a wish. It's not a magic wand. It's not the lazy person's guide to the galaxy. That's what it takes. Intention, decision, action.